Hello. On July 29th, we have a beautiful full moon in the sign of Aquarius. And I believe this full moon is asking each of us one simple question. Do you truly feel free to be yourself? Free to express your ideas? Free to make choices that feel right for you? Free to live a life that reflects who you really are inside? Or are you still trying to fit into expectations that no longer belong to you? This full moon in Aquarius comes at a very important time. Just 2 days earlier, on July 27th, the North Node moves into Aquarius for the next 18 months. So this marks the beginning of a brand new cycle. As some of you might know, this Aquarius Leo energy is pretty personal to me, since I have an Aquarius sun and Leo is my rising sign. So I have also a stellium in Aquarius. For some of you might know that stelliums is where you have a lot of planets. For me, I've got the luminaries, the sun, the moon in Aquarius, Venus, and Mars in Aquarius. So I'm pretty at ease with the energy of Aquarius. And also, I have my personal North Node in Leo and the part of fortune as well. That is a fiction point that we might talk about in another video. Just to say that I'm pretty at ease with that, Aquarius Leo energy. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens during the next cycle, during the next 18 months. For the last year and a half, since January 2025, the collective lesson has been about that North Node in Pisces, because we had the North Node, the transit of the North Node in Pisces, and the South Node in the sign, its opposite sign of Virgo. So we have been learning to let go of the need to control everything. That's the South Node in Virgo, its dark side. Instead, we've learned to trust life a little more, to reconnect with our dreams, our imagination, and our intuition. So for many people, this hasn't been easy at all. It hasn't been an easy time, I must admit, because the mind wants certainty, it wants, safe processes, it wants something things that you can predict, it wants regularity, constancy, everything the same, really relatable, that's what the mind wants. But life has been asking us to listen to something deeper, our inner wisdom, what's inside of us. So now, after that big, Pisces Virgo lesson, collective lesson, we are now we're going to learn something different. But as you know, in astrology, it's all to do with cycles. So, we go from one sign to another, but it's really done harmoniously. It's like we're ready for a next challenge, So the energy is shifting. Aquarius is now inviting us to express our individuality, to become more independent, to think differently outside the box, to stop hiding parts of ourselves that just feel too narrow. And it's really to stop hiding ourselves in order to feel accepted. Aquarius doesn't care at all about acceptance. Aquarius is all to do with being different, being original, standing out, but not standing out, like its opposite sign of Leo, being you know, being in the spotlight. It's more standing out by expressing freely your own ideas, you know, your own values, and sticking to them, you know, really strongly. That's the Aquarius energy. So it's going to be a time to really connect to what makes you different and unique, and to share even more your gifts, your talents with the world. So we've got that 18-month cycle, you know, where when the North Node and South Node changes signs, but we also have a much bigger cycle, which is an 18 years and a half cycle. So I invite you to actually look back about 18 or 19 years ago. So that's around 2007, 2008, 2009, when the North Node was also in Aquarius. So what was actually beginning in your life at that time? What was starting? That was there a dream, a relationship, a project, a new direction? You know, you maybe not have been ready then, but life is opening that chapter again for you right now. It's not to repeat the past, but to continue your growth with greater awareness. Because since then, of course, you've evolved a lot. You've had many challenges that makes you a different person. So that story, you can come back to it, to what started at that time, and add, make it evolve in that direction, that Aquarius direction, which is all about freedom, to be free, to be yourself, to express more of yourself. It speaks about authenticity, also innovation, community. It reminds us that we all have something unique to contribute to the world. Instead of trying to become like everyone else, we are invited to bring our own gifts into the collective. So if you know your birth chart, look at the Aquarius and Leo houses, because those areas of your life are likely to evolve over the next 18 months or so. That's where you're going to be triggered, or, you know, have a lot of inner transformation going on to change things in your life circumstances. So this full moon is also closely connected with Jupiter in Leo. There's that exact conjunction during the full moon. So I've already talked about it in the last video, you know, for the new moon in Cancer. But it's really getting closer and closer. So Jupiter expands whatever it touches. In Leo, it encourages us to have courage, to be brave, and that confidence, that self-esteem is going to really help you put yourself forward and be yourself. It gives you more creativity as well. It expands everything, you know, your ideas, who you are really. So it's really the right time for you to actually make sure that you express yourself more during this time. We actually don't deserve our place here on earth. We don't need to work to earn our place. That's the message of Leo. We just we just are, you know. We simply have to allow ourselves to be seen for who we truly are. So across the sky, the moon is also conjunct in Pluto, it's also conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, which means that Pluto, you know, always brings deep transformation. So there's always a lot of intensity with Pluto. It helps us see the fears we are still holding, the roles we continue to play, the identities that no longer feel true. So we really can rely on that, the presence of Pluto, to help us free ourselves from everything that doesn't belong to us anymore. And that's the really good side of Pluto, because you know, the dark side of Leo can be really egotic and you know, try to put yourself forward just to be more visible, without really connecting to your soul and to your depth. So Pluto is going to really push you to be a deep person, you know, to really connect fully to who you truly are. So that's the good intense side of Pluto. There's also Juno, the asteroid Juno, that is part of this full moon in Aquarius. Juno brings our relationships into focus. We often, in astrology, we often relate Juno with marriage, but you know, it can be really any big commitments. It's really to do with the agreements we make with other people. So this full moon may ask you, are you being yourself in your relationships? Or have you been giving away parts of yourself just to keep the peace? You know, too much compromise. Because real freedom isn't about doing whatever we want. That's not freedom. Real freedom is feeling safe enough to be ourselves, no matter what, without wearing a mask under any circumstances, with anyone, yeah, in any specific place, in environment, doing any activity. You just want to be always the same true person that you are. You don't want to change according to the places you go to or the people you talk to. You don't want to be wearing a mask anymore. And that's without asking permission, just without shrinking who you are. When you give yourself permission to be authentic, you also give other people the permission to do the same. And so that's the spirit of Aquarius. There's a sense of solidarity, a sense of community with Aquarius, where everyone belongs because everyone is different. So everyone is actually shining their own light together. That's really what the lesson is during that next 18-month cycle. And during this full moon, I invite you to, you know, take a moment and notice how your body responds. As I often say, you know, our body knows the truth. So where you're going to feel tension is where you are keeping yourself small, where you are contracting in your body is the area, it's going to correspond to the area of your life where you are shrinking, you know, where you are trying to over adapt. And you often, I can really see, you know, during sessions, that connection between your body and what you're going through in your life and in the different areas of your life. You know, it's very, very it's very clear during sessions. And that's also something that you can see in your chart. You know, as I said earlier, depending on where your the Leo and Aquarius signs are, in which house of your chart do they belong, you know, you can really see, you know, what's going on in your life. You know, if that Aquarius energy is activating your 10th house, which is your career, you're probably and surely going to be wanting to feel free in your professional life, to have more freedom, or to innovate more, to be really innovative. And you really is going to be really activated during this full moon and during the next 18 months as well. So that's why it's always good, you know, to look at your own chart to get even more specific information. It's just like reading your body, you know, when I do energy healing sessions. It's the same when I do Akashic record session, when I read your soul. You know, everything is connected in our life, you know. It's all it's really it all makes sense, you know. It's like a puzzle, you know, pieces of a puzzle that all goes they all go together, you know. So yeah, please in the comments let me know where in your life are you being invited to experience more freedom during this new cycle. So this full moon is really, this full moon in Aquarius is getting us a taste of what it's going to be, this cycle. It's really showing us fully that Aquarius energy in our lives. So please leave me a comment. And if you'd like, of course, to understand a bit more what's going to happen for you during that next cycle, you know, with the North Node in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo, with your own birth chart, I will be happy to support you during a personal session. You have all my information below the video. And yeah, I hope you have a great full moon wherever you are in the world. And I see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.